Well, I will say this. My kids are talking about we want to get Mexico soccer jerseys.
It starts.
And I said, for what? I said, we're from America. You want to get some U.S.?
Yeah, because of the U.S. playing in the World Cup?
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense.
Well, and their response was, well, we're half Mexican.
But you're full American.
Hey, welcome to Not a Fitted Podcast. This is a special edition, but this is not a Monday because I will be in Mexico on Monday. Viva Mexico! You guys watching World Cup? Mexico won its first game. We excited about
Mexico. Viva la Mexico!
You know who scored the first goal on the Mexican team?
No.
A black guy.
A black Mexican?
Yeah.
The black guy for sure. Mexican, okay. I don't know.
Okay, so it's funny is because I had to check in with all my Mexican friends. I was like, hey, so...
They ain't claiming him.
No, they're claiming him. Oh, no, it's Mexico soccer. They claim it.
Was he born in Mexico?
I have to look into it. I don't know.
Let's look it up.
Just recruited.
Okay, well, look it up. Start looking it up.
He's probably French then or something.
What do I Google? Black Mexican soccer player?
No, just do Mexico soccer team, and we'll find out where he was born. But they're all black people born in Mexico.
Yeah, no, that's all I'm saying. He could be Mexican.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Mike is down over here. Okay, with all my Mexican friends who love Mexico soccer, educate Mike, please.
Hey, I'm telling you, I've met a lot of Mexicans. I ain't never met a black Mexican.
There's not many of them now.
You haven't either.
Well, I haven't, but there's my daughter's part of a dance group, and I looked up the region that she represents, and it represents a region, a community off the coast.
It's true.
And they were all from the African slave trade, so it's all these Africans who were born in Mexico, and it's all like these Caribbeans. There's not many of them. They like faded out because they didn't really grow. But
I was with you when you looked it up.
Yeah,
we were right there.
It was this whole region of.
And they were all black.
Yeah, all
just
black
so you know.
Mexicans, yeah.
Yes.
Speak Spanish. Yeah.
I'm telling you, we were together when I saw, so you got to find that out. Okay. Anyway, so I'll be in Mexico, be doing some missions work. Shout out the Copa de Niños Children's Cup. I'll be in Borunda and Progreso in Aguascalientes. So we fly out on a red eye Sunday night, get there for Monday, and then we'll do missions work. Shout out Ola Church. We will be doing an interest gathering there. So a lot of stuff going on here at Adventure Church. So super excited. It's the way I spend my summer. You got an answer over here? What you got, bro? Because you smirking.
Just his name so far.
What's his name?
Julian Cuninos.
So he's Mexican. There you go. All right. I'm just telling you. I looked up on the screen. I just so you guys know, full transparency. I don't really watch World Cup. I don't really watch soccer. Do you watch soccer at all?
No, we're Americans.
Here we go. All right.
True Americans don't watch that.
Okay, what you got? Okay.
He's a professional footballer who plays forward for Saudi Pro League. Born in Colombia.
Oh,
he represents the Mexico
That makes more
national
sense.
football team.
Okay.
Now,
Met some black Colombians, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Mike's killing me. This is great.
I was like, I thought he was maybe Cuban.
Oh, Cuban.
Because because sometimes the Cuban baseball players will play for Mexico.
Always, yeah. Well, I shouldn't say always, but yeah, rather often. Okay, so
they won nonetheless.
Nonetheless, yeah. Shout out, Viva Mexico. We won. I got my Mexico soccer shirt. I'm ready. I'll be in Mexico when Mexico's playing. They're playing in Mexico City. The World Cup, their portion of the World Cup, I believe, is in Mexico City. So, and we'll be in Aguas, and we'll catch a game. So, I mean, I don't know if I'll watch it, but. I
thought you. I heard we'll catch a game. I was like, wait, you're gonna go to a game?
No, like we'll watch it if it's on TV.
I'd go.
I can't. I can't sit there. Can you sit there?
I never even tried, so I shouldn't say I can't. So I haven't tried.
Yeah, I could do it.
You can watch?
Oh yeah.
Why? How?
It's fun. I mean, there's a lot on the line.
What's on the line?
World Cup. It's your nation's like pride.
Help me understand. What's the purpose of the World Cup? Like the Super Bowl?
It's like the Olympics.
Oh, okay. It's like the Olympics. But it's every 2 years.
No, it's every 4 years.
The World Cup's every 4 years.
Yeah, it offsets to the Olympics. But I mean, for every other sports Olympics, this is the Olympics for soccer.
So this is bragging rights for the next 4 years. Okay. No, you see, because I'm competitive.
There's nothing bigger than the World Cup.
For real.
For soccer. This is it.
I thought is anything bigger in the world?
Period?
World Cup? Like any sports?
It is. It probably.
Yeah, no, I figure it's the biggest, but Americans, we still don't care about soccer. Football.
Well, I will say this. my kids were talking about, we want to get Mexico soccer jerseys.
It starts.
And I said, for what? I said, we're from America. You want to get some U.S.?
Yeah, because the U.S. playing in the World Cup?
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense.
Well, and their response was, well, we're half Mexican.
But you're full American.
Exactly. This is national pride, not ethnic pride.
I'm staying out of it.
I wouldn't be mad if they had Mexican jerseys.
I do have a Mexico shirt.
As long as they got them for free.
Yeah.
I might go buy a U.S. jersey now just because of that.
Can you name a player? Don't need to.
Don't come to church in your Mexico. No,
yeah. So now that you mentioned what's at stake, what is it? Copa del Mundo? So World Cup in Spanish, I think that's how they say it. But I will have to watch because I'm a competitive person. I didn't know it was like the Super Bowl. I didn't grow up watching soccer, and I was always too fat to play it, so I never had an interest in it. So I was like, I just been a football player, And then the Jordan era was basketball, and then when Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire were going back and forth, it was about baseball and steroids, and it was a great time of my life right there. So, all right, moving right along. So I will shout out Mexico. I'll be watching part of a game, maybe not the whole game, but when I'm in Mexico, and I'm having a good time. I'm gonna eat real good. I don't care if I gain weight. I don't care what happens.
Just no water.
I got sick last time. It's the produce, man. Every time I be eating a lot of produce and no salads, I'm going to have to boycott salads when I'm there. No tomatoes, aguacates, all that stuff. I don't know. I just get sick.
You can't eat avocados?
I think it's if they wash it in the water. I don't know.
Gotta get off the tree yourself.
But if I do just like straight carnivore, I'm good. Just be doing carnivore anyway. But you know what I'm saying. So, but the best churros I've ever had are right there. In downtown Aguas. That lady, I don't know what she does to it, but I could eat till I'm sick.
Shout out to her.
I don't even know her name.
Can you bring her back?
I need to. I've thought about. I will bring some tortillas back. I'll bring them back in my suitcase. That's for sure. Because they got a little tortilla factory right there, straight off the grill right there, bro. They're so good. Eat them.
How long are they good for?
We brought some back last time. They were good for a week. I'd be a tortilla smuggler. Bro, that's dope. I could do it. But if I brought her back, we'd be rich. She has the longest line I've ever seen. People wait hours.
Well, let's think about it. Okay, if we bring her back,
let's think about it. How much land to pay off?
How much would it cost us, and how much would she make?
You're a sucker for hot, fresh churros, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you, everybody is. All right, I want to show you guys something. Speaking of Mexicans, there are certain songs that just have a way of vibing with everybody. And I did not see this coming, but he won't roller skate. He won't do the Trust My Wife challenge. I'm trying to find something he will do that people can get involved and back us on, and we can make a little bit of money. Your wife reached out and said, Mike will do anything for money. That's what she reached out and said.
Hey, she knows me well.
She said, hi, this is Mike's wife right here. And she put the whole hand emoji, and she said, my husband is ready, willing, and available to do anything to help bring income to the family. So I got another one. Watch this right here.
Y arriba yo, mi papá y la chona. Contaré la historia de una.
I just have one question. Will you wear that outfit? I just want to know if you wear the outfit.
I don't even have to dance?
No, just wear the outfit.
Man.
If I buy you the outfit, we wear that on Sunday morning. That's got to be worth something.
Sunday morning, man, that's a lot of money. Sunday morning. Wearing is one thing, but Sunday morning is another thing.
Deshaun, will you wear that outfit right there with the red turtleneck?
Yeah, if you pay me, I'll wear it.
Yes! Got something. Okay, so let's go back and watch it again then. What outfit we talking?
Y arriba yo, mi papá y la chona.
So on the Not Offended podcast, I just got them to agree I can get those outfits, and Mike and Deshaun are in. So y'all got to start. What do we throw? I'll throw in the first $50. So we're gonna get this. We're gonna get this pull up, man. We're gonna get this pot. You are gonna get a nice little summer vacation from this.
Sounds great.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Now, if Lechona comes on, you might have to bust a move or two.
No, you know the song that I like is Suavemente. That's what I always tell my wife. We would name ourselves Suave. Let me do that. I was just joking, but
hey, he could do a nickname.
Yeah, I like that song.
Okay, Suavemente. Okay, what about?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say that. I should ask what it means before I say I like
No, don't ask, don't tell.
Okay.
Just let it go. Just let it go. What you got? What's your song?
What's my Mexican song?
Yeah, what's my Mexican song? I don't think that's how that's worded. What's my Mexican song? It's like you got your one Mexican friend or what?
Any Chente song. How about that?
Okay, there you go. Chente, he even says it right. Look at this. This is good. We've been rubbing off on you.
These are like our come out songs, like our walkout. Our
walkout on Sunday morning. We're gonna walk out on Sunday morning. Shout out Sunday morning. Whenever you guys preach, we'll do a walkout song. We'll do a walkout.
If I'm doing that, then I'm doing what's his name, Timmy Trumpets or whatever. I know he's not Mexican, but the
trumpets,
whatever the guy that does the trumpet for the guys who come out, the closers. Yeah.
Okay. This guy's so funny. Okay, I want to get to some stuff that's trending. We got quite a bit of things. I think if you live in the Fresno area, which we will talk about, then you've heard all about the Satanic Church that wants to host like a gathering and then like a book club and all that. We will be discussing that. But first, I got a couple things that have been trending, been going viral. Matter of fact, it's really come from conversations. I had to look it up a little bit. A couple people have been talking about their concerns for their friends doom scrolling. Are you guys familiar with what doom scrolling is? I know he had to look it up earlier, but were you familiar with it already?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. What about you? Go ahead and say what it is, though. Now that you had to look it up.
Yeah. So based off of what I read, doom scrolling is people who go on some type of app. You know, I'm sure it's any type of app that's got
Instagram,
videos,
TikTok, yeah, all of it.
And they start to look at, negative things in the news or just negative things around the world. Their algorithm kicks in, and then they just sit there and get in this, never-ending cycle of looking at bad things. And,
is that what you thought it was?
Oh, yeah. I thought it was just something in general, like you get hooked to just watching whatever it may be. Just something that catches your interest and you just can't stop.
But it sounds like but it's more specific negative things.
It is. Both of you are right. Correct. It is just spending excessive amounts of time on an algorithm, right? But for the primarily most part, what's becoming concerning is for people who are dealing with mental health issues. This is only exacerbated. Watch this clip right here from Ruslan.
It is so radically bad for us to just sit there and scroll. I mean, it's one thing to watch a YouTube video educationally and learn.
Doom scrolling ain't it.
But doom scrolling, I mean, it is so much worse for people than we realize in terms of our mental health, our physical health, what just doom scrolling does.
I got the Aura ring. Yeah, you got one too? Okay, so I love that it tells me when I'm stressed because I'll find certain stupid triggers that will stress me. It's like social media. And I'm like, let me delete this stupid app. Like, why am my cortisol levels are going up because of something somewhere else that I have no control over.
And that's the concern. And so the reason I wanted to play that clip is I've had, let me think back real quick. I had 3 conversations this last week with people who were talking about their friends or their loved ones being negatively affected by doom scrolling. And this is where we have to have the honest conversation and say, if this app is bringing you down, you need to delete the app. You really do. You need to get rid of it. You need to put your phone down. It's not helping you in your current situation, and it's not helping others. There is a legit concern here. And my honest opinion is I think it's only going to get worse. I think as people are searching for more hope, more dopamine hits, more serotonin hits, all this stuff, I think it's only going to get worse. And so I just want to put a warning out to everybody that this is time for you to make some adult decisions and probably get rid of stuff or put it down. That's why we take the breaks that we do from this type of stuff, because we know that we're susceptible to. Nobody's not susceptible to it. So anyway, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I had a conversation in our group at Bible study on Tuesday. We were talking about just the negative effects on phones specifically. And, one of the guys was like, hey, he didn't lead off like this, but this is what he meant. And he said, for me, it's not that hard. You can just you could just put it down. And so then I chimed in and I said, well, I'm happy for you. But the reality is for a lot of people, it's not that easy. And so you need to go extreme. We oftentimes will lie to ourselves and think that we're stronger than we really are.
And that's the problem, right? And that's the problem. We're lying to ourselves.
And it affects us greatly. You just have to be honest with yourself. Like, hey, I really struggle with this. Like, put some parameters on it. Hey, I'm only gonna go on my phone with this app, for an hour a day, or like if you can't do it at all, erase it. But you have to be willing to fight for it.
Your thoughts, or what would your advice be to people?
Yeah, I've heard people talk about even like for their kids is staying away from short form like videos, like these quick videos. But like you said, more educational. Hey, you can go watch something for like an hour, but that's okay. It's educational or maybe even just fun. But just you have to just keep changing to different things, and your mind can't keep your attention for over a minute, and you're just totally out of it. Like you have to try to get away from that.
So what I'm hearing us say is there is a legit danger here, and we should be, as pastors, talking about it, especially with all the mental health issues that are going on and all the stuff that's taking place. I would definitely, if I could say two things. Number one is I would warn parents, you need to monitor your kids. There ain't no other way to say it. You cannot be lazy in that area. You cannot be naive in that area. That's the first thing I would say. Number two, you got to check yourself as an adult. You got to check yourself as an adult. And if you can't handle it, if the negative comments and all this negativity, you need to put it down. You need to model what you want your kids to do. And so that's what I would say. Okay. Let me circle back to something we were talking about last week. And I think you brought it up about your friend who goes to Indonesia. And he talks about the miracles and all this. Well, lo and behold, I found something that I thought was really interesting. This is our guy, Josh Howerton, and he is interviewing John. I think his name's John Tyson. He has a church in New York. He's Australian, and he talks about what's going on in the Western church. I think his book's called Rumors of Revival or Echoes of God. I think it's one of those titles. Really good book about revival. He's doing a great work in upper north state of New York. So I just want you to hear this, but piggybacking off what we talked about last week, this was really good.
The West is Nazareth, mate. And that's the place where Jesus couldn't do much because of their cynicism and overfamiliarity.
Click on that.
Sunday morning, you would, in your heart, say, we are 100% open to whatever Jesus wants to do. And you would pray for someone to be healed.
I want that to be true.
And probably they wouldn't be healed.
That's right.
And that same team would go to Guatemala or India and pray, and people would get healed.
That's fact.
And then it's like, when you're leaving JFK, the hostess is like, ladies and gentlemen, the supernatural gifts of the Spirit will be made available as you leave the stratosphere. And when you land, you will have a new ministry toolkit. And as they're, telling you to put your seats up there, we'll now be collecting those supernatural gifts, and you can return to your word-based ministry. I think there's a worldview issue where people aren't open to it. There's a collective faith issue. Someone in a cessationist church desperate for God will get a breakthrough the typical person doesn't want out of faith and hunger.
Desperation. Yeah.
And then, but what happens when you build an atmosphere where the whole church is hungry? God will bypass 99 lukewarm churches to move in a hungry church. So there's something about the corporate atmosphere of faith that seemed to the ministry of Jesus to facilitate things. Now, this is a mystery. I want to probably give immediately 10 layers of nuance on this.
That's fine.
But there's something about this where Jesus seems to value the corporate expression of faith. And in the West, we just do not have faith.
Thoughts on that? Thoughts on that clip?
I don't know.
I don't know. Go ahead.
No, I don't know. I was trying to.
What rubs you the wrong way on that?
No, nothing does. I was trying to think of that in context of what Pastor Jerry was saying. This is in terms of like.
I like how you looked over your shoulder. Though, he's watching you.
Yeah. No, it's in terms of faith, and then even in most people's personal life, it could that be the thing hindering even the healing? But it could come back and give into that faith because, I just think I was just reading this morning. Just the lack of trust in God's word and what He says. It's just this lack of faith. Also, even that own person, and you live in sin because you don't have faith. You don't trust God. So it comes back to that lack of faith that God will do what He will do. But I don't know if it has to do with. I don't know what it has to do if you believe you want to pray for people to be healed. That is something because you don't have. Yeah. Could it be just the overall when you're praying for people that they don't have the faith for it? So it's not necessarily maybe the leaders, but I think as he expresses like a church as a whole coming corporately and truly believe in this, then you see it in your community. It's more than just a single person.
Yeah. What about you, Mike?
Yeah, I think. Obviously, when you talk about third world countries, and when we talk about their necessity for faith, and then ours, there's going to be differences. When we have food on our table and some of them don't.
Gosh, true.
When we have the ability to tell a doc.
Yeah.
Just how luxurious that is in itself, to not even have to go see a doctor face to face. We just call them. And so I think that there is going to be a difference, but I think that the deeper thing is, how do we move past that?
What do you mean? Go ahead. Click on that is what he said. Yeah.
Because those are real. Like it's a blessing. It's a blessing to be able to go see a doctor. It's a blessing to have food on the table. And so it's not like, well, in order for me to have this deep, rich faith, I've got to go live in a third world country. So in the midst of having these blessings, how do I still have this faith that I need to be healed and I don't have to have the doctor? I need to. Does that make sense? Like how do we move past that? I don't necessarily have that answer. Without you being in a place where you have your loved one got a terminal diagnosis,
right?
Like without being in that spot where it's like the only thing right now is God's hand of healing.
Right.
Like I have no other options.
But why does God heal in the first place?
For His glory.
And so I think...
was that a wrong answer?
No.
Say no. Okay.
No,
I was like, did I get a wrong answer?
But I think in many ways that we get to see the miracle hand of God in our lives and see Him move.
Yeah.
In many ways where we can get to see His glory and see how good He is.
Yeah.
Despite we not having the healings.
Right.
Could the argument be made over there they don't get to experience that same thing?
No.
That this is a way for God to be glorified in that way. Mm-hmm. A lot of people in America don't have an excuse to know who God is, to know how good He is. They experience it and they know it. Over there, they might not have those same benefits. So does it look different, the way God expresses Himself here compared to places who are in desperate need?
No, you are 100% right. I've got no problem with that. I would say this. I still want to contend. I agree with Pastor Tyson that it's like when we leave LaGuardia or what do you say, JFK Airport, it's like, the supernatural will now take place. I don't want it to just take place over there. I want to contend for it here. I agree with what you're saying, and I'm okay with the healings looking different. I could like a marriage being restored, a person coming to salvation. I'm down with all that. I also do want to contend for the people who got diagnosed with cancer. I want to contend for the people who have an incurable disease. I want to contend for people who've been sick and the doctor don't know why. I still want to contend for that, and I still want to have the faith for that. And I could just say this: if you don't keep praying for people and you don't exercise that faith, it will get atrophy. It will go dormant. And I think that's part of the problem too. Is you got to leave space and time for people to get healed, and you got to be able to pray for it. 100% of prayers that don't get prayed go unanswered. You got to pray for it. So I'm like right now, the unemployment's high. We can be praying for people to get jobs. That's a miracle, right? So, but we got to pray. That's where I would agree with him. Like we do got to contend, and I want to contend. I want to be hungry for God. I love his statement. God will bypass 99 lukewarm churches to find the one that's hungry. Let's do that then. Let's be the hungry church. Yeah. That's how I look at it. But I just wanted to circle back because I do think it was what you were saying last week, and I thought, man, this is good. He has a really good podcast. Okay, this next clip, Bishop, I always think of you. And the reason I think of you is because your comments always, that's not a real church. That's not a real church. And
I feel like I haven't said that in a while.
You haven't said they're idiots in a while. I've been very proud of you. Pastor Jerry's rubbing off. We have to have him back on the show, and I'm going to tell him how proud he should be of you.
Pastor Jerry's got good fruit here.
Oh, he's got really good fruit. It's bearing
good
fruit. It's bearing fruit. I was just, the only reason I want to show this clip is you guys know it's Pride Month, and we talked about it a little bit last week. But I want to get your opinion on what's this called and what would be the point of this, okay? I feel like, and this is going to lead into our segment about the Satanic Church in Fresno and them trying to hold the book club or whatever they're trying to do. I just don't understand the point other than the word I come up with is indoctrination. And so watch this clip and then let's get but Mike, I don't know if they can see it, but maybe son, you can put this up so they can see that actual clip. It says gays against groomers. Are you familiar? I think you guys are familiar because they've been very, very active in saying we're against the grooming of kids. You can be gay and not try to groom as well. But they get canceled a lot actually. And so they're...
Is their main guy, person a guy?
It is.
Okay.
It is. And he's been canceled by everybody. He's got the only gay friends he's got are the ones who support him on this. Like he's got nothing. So he's got a lot of straight heterosexual friends actually. But he says pseudo pastor hosts a young children's lesson about Noah's Ark, but then goes into a much longer lesson about how rainbows really mean the LGBTQ, and then harps heavily about queer people in their church. And he puts, this is not a Sunday school, it's indoctrination. This is supposed to be a Sunday school class. So check this out.
What other symbol from the Noah's Ark story can you remember? There's another symbol in that story. Yes, Carter, a rainbow. Look, we've got some rainbows. I have a rainbow bracelet today. Do you know that rainbows are another kind of symbol beyond what God intended the rainbow to mean? Jerian. It is a symbol for LGBTQ plus people. That is right.
So back to that. I don't think there's another purpose for the rainbow what God intended.
Yeah, she told on herself. Yeah.
So is this when they said women shouldn't preach right there? Is that what they were referring to? This woman should not teach in the church? I think that's exactly what they were meaning to say right there. She should not be teaching. She is disqualified. By the way, whether that was a guy or a girl, before I get myself into trouble, you know what I'm saying? They're not qualified.
You can hold on to that.
That was on.
That's on you.
That was on me.
You're holding on that one.
I'm leaving him out. I was like,
Who's the guy or girl?
yeah. No, the lady who was teaching. I was making a joke, a biblical joke. Like, this is why I say women shouldn't preach, because that was false doctrine.
Gotcha.
And then I went on to say, if guy or girl, it doesn't matter. I'm being humorous here.
Oh, I probably don't care about the first part.
A little humorous.
Yeah.
But what is that right there? That's not Sunday school.
Yeah, no, she's just wrong. I mean, she said beyond what God intended. I was like, why are you taking stuff beyond what God intended?
There's a strict warning about that. You can't take God beyond what he intended.
Yeah.
Crazy. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's just the state of where we're at with some of these pseudo pastor. That's what it says. Pseudo pastor, pseudo churches.
But here's where I agree with Deshaun. It's not a church. It's not a biblical church. You know what I mean? Just because it has a cross in the building and it says something, it's not a New Testament church.
I bet you they don't have a cross.
No, but why do people have such a hard time saying that? I don't understand.
You know, it's definitely in situations like this, just certain stuff, you know, I think we shouldn't argue about. Like, you did a good job. I would have mentioned, maybe 2 weeks ago, I can't remember. We talked about the Seventh-day Adventists. You know, they'll say you're wrong, you say they're free. I think that was a really good statement. But stuff like this, we have to call out because this is something totally different, and they're making us. They're changing the gospel. I mean, Noah's Ark, I know it's a great, Sunday mornings, Sunday school story, but it ain't that great. They're killing them. God killed everybody. Everybody was drowned.
But it's such a friendly story.
Yeah.
Think about it, like people get their kids sheets with Noah's Ark. It's like matching sheet set. It's like you painted your kid's bedroom Noah's Ark.
We did actually.
And the rainbow is like God saying, "Hey, I won't kill everyone again."
Is that one side of the room is the nice side of the story, and the other side of the room is all these dead people
drowned.
The world just covered in dead people.
It is. I want to just let everybody know, I have no problem calling out churches that are preaching a false gospel. However, I do have a problem calling out churches that have nuanced differences. That's why I don't attack, I don't get into the whole Baptist, not Baptist, charismatic, I don't get into all that. I just they say I'm wrong. I said that about the UPCs the other week. I said, they say Jesus only and you got to get baptized in Jesus' name. And I go, okay. They'll tell me I'm wrong, but I won't tell them they're wrong. I'm just free. I mean, I do Father, Son, Holy Ghost.
There's a great clip. Maybe one day we can show it of that same pastor that you saw the clip of before this, talking about R.C. Sproul, talking about Billy Graham.
Oh yeah, I saw. Yeah,
it is really good because they're saying they have these doctrinal differences, and they thinking he's gonna go after Billy Graham. But he was like, no, he's like, I won't see Billy Graham in heaven because he's gonna be too far to close to God. And I'm gonna be all the way back. And it was just like this. It's the way he tells the story is really good. And we're just like, we're not arguing over these differences. Like Billy Graham, no, he did an amazing work. He's a great man.
What was R.C. Sproul's relationship with John MacArthur was like that too,
best
right?
friends. They're best friends.
Yeah, they're more doctrinally aligned. But yeah.
But on what they differed on, they really did differ on. Don't forget, R.C., he was okay with infant baptism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And by the way, I heard about, it had been it was well over an hour. Mm-hmm. I won't say it was 2 hours, but it was well over an hour. His defense of infant baptism was perfect. I mean, I saw no fault in it. I really didn't. Do I do it? No, but am I opposed to it? Not at all. under the guise of what he was saying, though. I'm not talking about the Catholic thing that I did when I was a kid. I'm not doing all that where we all go get drunk right afterwards. That's not what we're. Why are you laughing? You know, that's true. You know, that's another one I'm not touching. He's like, I'm not touching that one, and I'm not touching that one. You go ahead, Pastor. You on your own. I don't mind. I can take all the smoke, D. Don't worry about it. I'm 50 now. Wait till I'm 60. But John MacArthur vehemently disagreed with him.
Yeah.
And told R.C. Sproul he was wrong.
Yeah.
And so I watched them go back and forth. But at the end of the day, they're really good friends. But it was funny in that debate, John really didn't have a good argument. That's the first time I've ever seen Dr. John not have a really good argument. So I thought that was rather interesting. Like he had a good argument, but not like he was Dr. John. He usually make you feel stupid. And on that one, maybe it was because it was his friend or something. But like I was like, man, I think RC got him on that one. Like I thought that was really good. Needless to say, I still don't argue with people. If somebody was to come up to me and they were like, hey, we want to baptize our child. We got godparents, the whole nine. And I would sit down with them and I would do what RC Sproul had taught. And if they would adhere to that, I'd baptize them. I've got no problem with that. So that's just me, though. I wouldn't ask you guys to do it. But once again, that's that freedom in Christ. And I also wouldn't have a problem if that child turned 12 and was like, hey, I need to go public with my faith. I need to do this for me. I got no problem with that either. I wouldn't say the first baptism was null and void. This is under what the teaching that I understood from R.C. Sproul. So that's all I'm saying. I just think right here, that's not hard to call out. That's not a church.
No, that's
okay,
not.
we agree. All right. Okay, we were talking about this 3 weeks ago, and I have to admit something on the Not Offended podcast for the first time. I'm actually kind of a Ruslan fan. I don't know what switched in him or what's happening, but he's had on a lot of good guests. He's defending the gospel. Him and Nathan, that guy, are really going at it right now. I listened to a whole 30-minute back and forth. He went after Ruslan and clipped his clip so bad. It was rather sad. Nathan's got an axe to grind, and so at the end of the podcast, he goes, Nathan, let's get a moderator, and let's just go at each other for an hour. Let's go. I challenge you. I'll set it up. And Nathan's not got back to him yet.
Oh,
so and then he's the one that went and interviewed Joby, the guy in Florida. Really good. It's like none of this is what Nathan made it sound like, and then he kind of went after Nathan like, well, how much money are you worth? How are you making your money? What are you doing for the church? What we said, I was like, he must have watched our podcast because these are all the questions I asked right here. So anyway, he had a good subject about serving in the church and how this is not a blessing for you to the church. This is a church. This is a blessing from the church to you and what it really does for you. Watch this clip right here. I thought he did really good. Watch this.
You start giving. I need to start serving. I need to get into a small group. And they're like, oh, all those things serve the church. And it's like, they serve you, dude. Like right. They serve you. Right. Like it's in your best interest to learn to be generous and give. It's in your best interest 100%. To get into a community. It's in your best interest to serve. And if you're struggling, take the attention off of yourself 2 weekends out of the month and go sit with the kids, go sit with the babies, go pass out bulletins, do parking lot ministry. These things did way more for me than I did for the church.
The 153 one another's in the New Testament. And how do you one another if you ain't got no one another's? Like love one another, serve one another, greet one another, encourage one another.
That's good.
How do you one another if you don't have a one another? That's a great line. That's a great line. 153. What'd you think of that? I think he's right.
Yeah.
Serve.
Yeah.
How did your life change by serving?
Well, it's something I just wanted to do. I just don't understand, I guess, how you become a believer, you put your faith in Christ, and you don't want to do something. So, I mean, that's just what I want to do.
Can I ask you a question? I don't mean to go to the deep end of the pool, but I've been thinking about this for a while. Jesus, for the most part, really didn't serve people. He had other people serve people. Unless it came to the one-on-one miracle where he had to lay his hands on. Think about like the feeding of the 5,000 and all this other stuff. You throw the net. I could keep going, by the way. Like it really was like, Peter, you go fishing and get the money for our taxes. Hey, you go set up the upper room for our meal. Hey, you go get the donkey. Other than people throwing themselves at him, or the woman at the well or spitting on the mud, he told the guy, you get into the pond or you be made well. Like he really modeled for us, like, I'll do the miracle, but you got to do the work. I don't understand. It's like, hey, you go put in an application, I'll open the door. Just don't be mad at what door I open. You really do got to do your part. So I'm with you. I agree with Joby. Like, there's 153 one another's. I think he wants you to serve one another. I don't think it's that hard. And I do think there's a joy. I think there's a joy in knowing that we were a part of doing something larger than ourselves that we could never accomplish on our own. I don't know. You were going to say.
Yeah, I mean, there's also a pain to it. It's not always times you want to do it. There's also times you want to talk to people, or if you don't get along with people. And so I think people just see that part of it and they run with that. There's a time investment. There's a money investment. There are these things that there is like a pain to it that sometimes you don't want to do. Even the best of things that you have, the car you may have, or whatever it may be, the thing you love the most, sometimes it's a headache. But we're okay with other things in my life.
Go on. What do you mean by that? Like, what do you mean? Go ahead.
You can have a job you love, but sometimes, man, I don't want to go to work today. You're tired. You're hungry. Whatever it may be. Like today is, or this week, this wasn't a good week, and I don't want to do this. But you don't go quit your job. You know, things like that. You know, it could be, man, I love my marriage, I love my kids, but you had a bad week. You're just like, oh, I'll just take off because I had a bad week. It's like, no, all these things happen in our lives at some point, and it's like with the church or we're serving, it's quick to like, nah, I don't want to do that, or I don't want to be a part of that. You know, you just quick to throw it away.
You want to double back on that? I thought that was good. That's spot on.
Yeah, I'm thinking about what he said. It's so true. Yeah, it's so true. I've enjoyed serving. I think one of the things I really enjoyed serving is the reasons why I enjoyed serving is oftentimes I get consumed by my world.
Yeah, yeah.
And it allows me to make sure that the emphasis is not always it's not Mike's world.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And there's a world that I'm living in, not everybody else is living in my world. And so it just really helps me to take a deep breath and be like, man, God, you're so good.
And let's be honest. Let's be honest. What makes ministry fun is people, and what makes it hard is people.
Mm-hmm.
And what makes serving fun is people, and what can make serving hard is people. Mm-hmm. And I think that's just the ebb and flows. But I love what you just said. There could be the job you love, and they could hire a new person, and now the job you love just got harder. It's in every area of our life, even in large families. You get along better with certain family members than you do others. And it's not that you don't like your other family members. It's just like, well, probably not going to go on a vacation with them, but we just don't have the same proximities. We don't have the same principles. That's what I try to tell people all the time. But what makes the family fun is when everybody's together. Mm-hmm. And so I just think I agree with Ruslan. You're missing out if you're not serving, because it really does do something for you as well. I agree. Okay. Fresno Luciferian Church. Fresno Church of Lucifer is holding its first. Okay, let's update. They were going to meet at the library in North Fresno. They said that the library got numerous threats, as well as the organization got numerous threats.
They said they were going to burn the library down.
Okay, which is an oxymoron, because it's a satanic thing, right? Yeah. To burn, and then okay. Now, your thoughts on should they be able to gather the Luciferian Church?
Should they be able to gather? Mm-hmm. I'm glad they're not gathering there.
Okay. No, but do they have the right to gather?
I'm glad the community came out.
It's America, Deshaun. It's America.
He just said a minute ago he's going to buy his American jersey.
Well, I'm glad the community came out and voted and said, you ain't meeting here.
Do they have the right to meet, though, as an American?
You have the right to gather. But... so I mean, back in the day, right? They had communists couldn't come in this gather. They had to do it in secret, otherwise,
right?
They're coming after you. So there's obviously some limitations to freedom.
You're not wrong.
So figuring out what that is, I mean, that's the tricky part. But
okay, but what I thought was funny is they want the same 503 tax status. They want the same protection, freedom of speech, all that stuff. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I felt that way after 72 weeks of being protested by Satanists. We didn't get half of what they just got. That was just me. That was my first thought when I read the article. We didn't get no TV. We didn't get we didn't get none of that. Was that what you thought when you read it?
No, that wasn't my initial thought.
What was your initial thought?
Well, too bad for you. Yeah. What did you think was going to happen, man?
All the comments. Here's the deal. This is just Anthony. This is Anthony. First Amendment rights. You have the right to gather. You go ahead. And if people want to bring their kids to your Luciferian group, then that's between the parents and the kids. You have the right to. I don't care if you use the library. I need to have access to the library then as a Christian. Whatever. I feel it's equal rights. I really do. That's fine.
You're not getting that access.
But I'm not. And that's the thing. That's the thing. Like you said today, Fresno Unified, did they bust kids into the Pride Parade? Yeah. So if we did a straight parade, I'd expect Fresno Unified to bust kids into my Christian straight parade. You see what I'm saying? Whatever you're giving, you need to give across the board without parity, without discretion, without discrimination. And I think that's what everybody's got an axe to grind about. You can't do for one and not the other. And this is Fresno Church of Lucifer is holding its first ever youth program near Woodward Park. I just want to know what those principles are. Because if they're following the Satanic Church, that was really founded by Aleister Crowley, not Anton LaVey, because he used all the Aleister Crowley stuff. The sum of the law is do what thy will. Do whatever you want to do. That is antithetical to the gospel, which says deny yourself. They say what? They say do yourself. Do whatever feels good. Fulfill the lusts of the flesh. What principles are you teaching? And if you look into the comments went absolutely crazy. Luciferian is not devil worship. It's a philosophy centered around the pursuit of knowledge, personal sovereignty, and the rejection of dogmatic belief systems. You know what they're really saying? It's a rejection of Christian principles. So if you reject Christian principles, what principles are you adhering to? Paganism? And she says paganism. And paganism is all about you doing what you want to do. I make the argument again that I made last week. You don't need less of Christianity. You need more of Christianity. And then people get aboard. You know, it's the Christians who brought in the slave trade. Then they weren't Christians. They didn't understand the gospel. What you needed was real Christians like William Wilberforce, who said that's not the gospel. This is the gospel. All men are free. Does that make sense? Like, we don't need less of the gospel. We need more of the gospel. And this is what these people don't seem to understand. And because you have more of the gospel, this is the irony of all this. Because you have more of the gospel, you are free to do what you want to do right there. You want to go serve Satan, go serve Satan. That's the gospel. That's what people can't. That's the thing that perplexes me. You don't understand. The more of a Christian you are, the more tolerant you really are. Like, because of Christianity, you're allowed to have a pride festival. Go hold that in Iraq and tell me how that works out. I don't know. I'm off my soapbox. There you go. So back to Luciferians. They're upset. They got to host it in downtown Fresno now. We want to preserve the mission. The church has introduced the Tiny Torches youth program. Tiny Torches. Interesting. Which will feature many traditional activities like crafts and coloring, but will also introduce attendees to the church's mission to preserve esoteric arts and intellectual freedoms to all citizens of free will. What 7-year-old is going to understand to preserve esoteric arts? Do you even know esoteric arts? Do you know?
No.
Okay.
No.
Do you know what they're saying with esoteric arts?
No, but maybe the kids from that pseudo church know.
You couldn't wait, could you? You just couldn't wait. What is going on in Fresno?
Nothing.
Everybody.
They tried to have it. It ain't happening.
But what's going on in Fresno? Everybody was commenting this is supposed to be the Bible Belt. Blah, blah. I have news for everybody.
No, it's not.
This
anymore.
ain't been the Bible Belt for a long time now, y'all. I don't know what you're living in. You're living in some past glory days. Fresno is not what you think it is anymore.
I think relative to maybe other places, though.
Okay, so we compared it to San Fran?
I think you got LA and San Francisco.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't argue that.
I mean, maybe you can go up. Maybe Orange County's better. Or,
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I think further north, like the Redding area, the Yolo County, all that. I mean, yeah, but I'm just saying this ain't, but it ain't the same Fresno than when I moved here. This ain't the same Fresno when I moved here in 06. It's changed. I'm telling you right now, it has changed. And don't nobody know that better than us. It has changed.
Yeah, I mean, I remember telling a pastor that, and he didn't like what I had to say.
Do you have pastor friends? I have pastor friends again.
No, I didn't. But
No, I do now. People like me again.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I'm lovable. I'm a friendly guy. They like me again. They say hi to me. They stop and talk to me. I got friends. Why are you looking at me like I got friends?
No, I
bro?
believe you.
I finally got friends again. It's been a good year for Anthony. It's been a good year and a half actually. I'm on a run. I'm on a roll. Don't kill my vibe, D. So I don't know. I just think. By the way, this says that the organizers will be teaching kids about the Wheel of the Year, a calendar consisting of 8 seasonal festivals celebrated by pagans and Wiccans. All right. And other nature-based religions, this will be the highlight discussing their upcoming holiday, which is one of the big ones, the summer solstice. So this is the longest day of the year, June 21st. And from that day forward, it gets shorter. Then you have the winter solstice, which is the shortest day of the year, usually around December 21st, 22nd. Yeah. Anyway, what's going on in Fresno? That's all I had to say. People, this thing has gotten so much run. Every news outlet's ran with it. I mean, one of them had like 1,000 comments. What are you laughing at?
That's why it got canceled.
What do you mean?
It got too big.
Yeah, they should never have advertised that.
Look at all these comments. Boy, Team Jesus, the dumbest thing I've heard of all year. Call them devil worshippers, and they start manifesting. They don't worship the devil. They believe and follow the idea of Lucifer as the angel of light. Glenn Howard Hogue. I don't know what you're talking about. Lucifer from the Bible is biblical theology identifies Lucifer as a fallen angel. Okay. I curse his name in Jesus' name. We know some of these people. That's what's funny. This is funny.
There's another one. Yeah.
Okay, Father, in the name of Son,
all your
Jesus.
friends, because there's a few of them that just popped up.
I know a lot of these people. I know her too. She don't even live in our city. This is great. Okay, I gotta get off here. I'm gonna give myself a show. Don't show this, son. Can't show that scroll right there. That was good. Okay, anyway, one of them did say, "Are you roasting all your things? Are you roasting all your snacks?" I was like, "Are you roasting all your snacks?" I thought that was so funny. I don't know. I just kept laughing. Okay, I don't know what's going on in Fresno. All right, moving right along.
I'd love to hear the mayor's take on that. Just
well, he's gonna. You know, I'm not saying nothing.
I was a bad friend. I was a bad friend.
You baited.
I was a bad friend.
You baited me right there.
Moving on. Next segment.
Psalms. Let's get biblical. Talk about Psalms. Do you have a favorite psalm from this week? Something you want to talk about? I'm gonna pull up mine because you know I got mine. Are you guys familiar with Psalms 61? Anybody familiar with Psalm 61? Matter of fact, there's been some worship songs written about it, but here's my favorite. This is one of my favorite psalms because of a worship song about it. But this is called "The Assurance of God's Eternal Protection." The chief musician on a stringed instrument. This was literally played on a harp or a lyre, right? Hear my cry, O God, and attend to my prayer. And here it is. From the end of the earth, I will cry to you when my heart is overwhelmed. Are you struggling with anxiety? Are you struggling with feeling overwhelmed? Are you struggling with what life is throwing at you? This is your psalm. Look at what he says. When my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. For you have been a shelter for me, a strong tower from my enemy. I will abide in your tabernacle forever. I will trust in the shelter of your wings. Selah. Selah literally means to stop, pause, meditate, and go back, reread, and let that sink in. Are you struggling? Then Jesus, lead me to the rock, which is you, that is bigger than I. In other words, show me somebody who can really fix my problems. I love this song. That is tattoo worthy right there. That's all I got to say. What do you think of that song?
It's good.
No, I mean, you don't got to get the tattoo part. But
yeah, I was thinking like where with a shoulder tattoo or.
Okay. No, this is definitely a stomach one. This is big, it's real big. Yeah. But no, I just love it. Lead me to the rock.
Lead me to the rock.
Strong tower. When you think of a strong tower, you think of other things, but he's like, no, make me your strong tower. Like I want to hide in that shadow of your wings. This has always been. This is a go-to psalm when I'm down and out. This is a go-to psalm right here. This is the one like, lead me to the rock, Jesus. I can't do it. I'm done. I can't do it. You can do it. I can't do it. What do you think of what?
No, it's lead me to the cross. I was like, wait, what?
Okay.
Somebody, yeah.
No, this is old school like Vineyard song.
Gotcha.
This is old school. I think you would have been 7, so you might have been in early elementary. I think you were still in gospel at that time. Not Vineyard music. So, okay, it was hymns. Okay, but anyway, so were you a Psalm 61 fan?
No, it's good. Yeah, it's good.
So what song were you going to pick out?
60.
You were going to pick out some like "Smite Him, O Mighty Smiter, King of War," huh? Like let the Lord. Oh, what was that on a Saving Private Ryan? When he says, train my hands for war, and he's sniping people.
The sniper, yeah.
Okay, yes or no, that's one of your favorite parts.
Oh,
for sure.
It's a great movie.
But that part when he's quoting scripture, I'm like, I don't know if you're supposed to be doing that, but it's working.
He's like,
yeah. But it's working.
I don't know if I've seen that movie all the way through.
Why?
I don't know. I did not.
You getting old? You falling asleep during the movies or what? What's going on, D?
No, I mean, it came out when I was younger. I just never.
We were young when that one came out.
Yeah.
Can you guys settle down with that? Because you're not just that much younger than me. Like,
no, I didn't say that.
Yeah,
I just said we were young, though.
Go ahead. Psalm 60.
Psalm 60.
I'm right there. Go ahead.
God who has not rejected us, no longer go out with our armies. Give us aid against the enemy, for human help is worthless. For God will gain the victory, and he will trample down our enemies. Just the idea at the beginning of this is, this guy didn't go with him. It's this idea of this God is sovereign, and he allowed them to lose his battle. But also David, at the same time, he comes back to God to win to get the victory. He recognizes, God, you're sovereign. I lost this war because you didn't go ahead of me. But he didn't run away from God. He ran closer to God. God, no, I need you even more to give me this victory. And it's just this. What we do a lot of times, things happen in our lives, and we're upset at God, and we run away from God. But then we can learn from David. No, run back to God, draw even closer to him, cry even louder to him. And we see later on they get the victory in this because God does go before them. So we can't really see why God left them. What is there a specific sin that they committed or something they did that stopped them from? I tried to look it up. No one knows why he sort of let them lose this battle. But David didn't let offense creep in and be offended by God, but he ran to him.
Most people do that, huh? Mm-hmm. God doesn't answer a prayer. Something else gets let down. They start running from God. And what we can learn right here from David is what? Running from God is never the answer.
Yeah, we can always trust him. It's not like a human being, we should keep our word, and someone leaves you out to dry and you're like, man, I ain't trusting them again. And maybe at some point they're not worth trusting,
right?
But God is always worth trusting. We can always know and trust him that there's reason and purpose behind everything, and keep going back to him, and he's going to give us victory.
So good. Psalm 60. Love it. What about you, Mike?
And then that part, human help is worthless. That's what stuck out to me today.
That should be on the bumper sticker right there. Human help is worthless, if you think about it. Yeah, go ahead.
Psalm 58, 10 and 11. The righteous will be glad when they are avenged, when they dip their feet in the blood of the wicked. So I had that part, not Deshaun. Then people will say, surely the righteous still are rewarded. Surely there is a God who judges the earth. And I think what stuck out to me about that is I think oftentimes I will see something that maybe somebody I love is being wronged, or I'll see something that just is wrong. And I'll feel like I need to be, the avenger, or I need to step in. And there are times where it's important to step in, but I have to trust God. I think it just boils down to it. Like in certain instances, I'll give you an example. Okay, I got into it a little bit, not a lot of it. I made sure that I was still, okay as pastor. So my daughter was playing a softball game like about a month ago, and I got into it with the opposing coach because I couldn't take it anymore. My daughter seems to have like 22-0, and it's the same girl pitching the whole time. And I told my wife, I just can't take it. So I go over there and I let the coach know, like, you suck. But I didn't use those exact words. But I was like, sometimes when I see things that are wrong, like I just can't sit back. Like I have to say, I told Deshaun this. I said, man, I just got to learn to walk away. Like I don't always got to stick my neck out there. But I think this more or less speaks specifically like for people who I love, or more deeper things. It's like I don't always have to be the one that tries to go and save the day. God is the one. And I need to learn to submit like those deep areas of my life over to him and say, if I'm supposed to interject myself in this area, show me how to do it. But I trust that you will judge, that you have a plan, and however it plays out, like I got to believe that it's for the best.
That is, yes. Yeah, I agree, because that's my problem. I see the injustice and my blood gets boiling, and I'm like, somebody needs to say something, and that always gets me in trouble because I don't have that gift of saying it nicely. I've tried to cast that demon out of me that just says something like really aggressive, and it didn't leave. And then I tried to get the emotional help and think of better, smarter, bigger words. That didn't help. And just when the anger gets boiling, it just gets boiling.
Yeah, I got the girl subbed out. How about that? It worked. Okay. She got subbed out, and I walked away.
But part of me, I think my frustration is, what game are you watching?
Yeah.
I think that's my frustration. Like, you're hurting the girl. Mm-hmm. Like, you're hurting her confidence. Like, does anybody not care? That's the part that gets me. Is it gets like, do you not care? Because I care. I don't even know, but I care. Mm-hmm. Do you not care? You should care. How do I get you to care? Why don't you care? Like, my brain starts going up every which way.
It's wrong.
It's wrong. And I can understand if the girl was a gamer and she's like, nope, I need to finish what I started, and you have a good conversation and there's a principle to be learned. But there ain't nothing there. We got to have a talk.
Well, she's been asking to get subbed out for like 2 innings.
That's my point. See, that's my point. Then I would have been heated. You did a good job. That if you were able to say it in a nice way, kudos to you.
No, I didn't say it in a nice way. Just I didn't tell her that she sucks. So it was a middle ground.
Middle's good. Middle's a start. The
middle's ground. I didn't get escorted off campus.
That's perfect.
But I did leave on my own recognizance.
Okay. Okay, let's talk about this. As you know, I do a sermon at least once a year, if not twice a year. You guys all know this because you've been with me forever. I talk about a shepherd's responsibilities, a shepherd's task. The reason it came up this year, I try to go when the Bible brings it up, I will do. That's how I figure out I'll do that sermon, right? And I do it for twofold, to remind the people of what our actual jobs are. And number two, for all the new people who don't know what our actual jobs are. And it comes up because in Acts 20, Paul says his goodbyes. And he says, when I leave, ravenous wolves will come in behind me. Like, he warns them. And he says that they'll try to malign the word of God. They'll try to basically get over on you guys and preach a different gospel. So I thought, well, this is a perfect time, because he's trying to tell you that these are not shepherds at all. That there is an overseer shepherd that's going to take care of you, is going to provide for you, is going to lead, feed, and protect, basically, right? Summing it up in Anthony's words. So I'm like, okay, this is a perfect time to interject this sermon that I do at least once a year, if not twice a year. I've never done it more than twice, but I do it at least once a year. And it's like, hey, we have to have a fresh reminder of what the job of a pastor is. And so I just wanted to get some collective thoughts. We've talked about this before. Deshaun, what responsibility do we have as pastors of making sure we help our congregation know about false gospels, about false doctrination? What should be our stance on that, and how do we go about, like, I don't want to say rebuking, but redirecting people and letting them know, hey, this is a false gospel. Mm-hmm. This is a good. What responsibility, and how do we go about it?
Going back to what you had said earlier, even about the 7-day Adventists, they'll say, about us not meeting on Saturday, that we're wrong. And you'll say, well, you're free. I think it's good for people to hear that. Why I thought it was so important is, like, there's stuff worth fighting for. Yeah. There's stuff that's important, and there's stuff that, hey, you can have freedom. Because I think people, you can get tired. Man, what do I fight for? What's the argument? Or you just, like, you don't want to even deal with it. You don't want to open that up. Like, people just, like, push it aside. But I think to really share, like, hey, these things are important. The virgin birth is important. Like, all these things, like the importance of that, and really sharing that when it comes up in scripture, and taking time and being okay with people not always fully understanding everything. Because sometimes you don't want to share it. Like, are they going to understand this? Am I taking too much time and I'm breaking it down? And, like, this idea of teaching, in a lot of times when you go into sermon, you have a teaching moments, people can zone out, or it can get, you're not telling jokes, so it's not as funny, all those things. You could be worried about that. You're not telling this amazing story to relate to. It's like, no, this is just what it is. I think planning to have those things in place to teach your congregation, I think, is important. And also just giving them resources in other areas, like different equip classes that we have, where you really, and we're even more intentional about what we believe and how you can get taught in those areas. So,
what's incredible? I was thinking about this today. I was meeting with my men's group that I meet on Tuesday nights. Before we have men's group, I have another group that I meet with. I go through a book with. And we were talking about the podcast this last week, and we were talking about demons and how you were a little bit of not amazed, but just a little bit taken back by how I said how demons know other languages. And so we got to talking about that, and, like, a lot of them didn't know that. A lot of them thought, like, the demons just must speak English. It's like, no, they speak every language, including ancient forgotten languages. Long story short, I feel this responsibility to create content. Let me give you some perspective, okay? I bet you guys didn't see this one coming. Do we want to do a podcast every week? No, I don't. I get tired. Most people don't know that I write this, I produce this. Like, this is what I do right here. You guys may send it a clip or two, but the majority is this is what I do. I comment. I really do the lion's share of the work here. And people may ask, well, why do you do that? Because as what I feel, one of my responsibilities is I got to do something more than what's on Sunday. If you go back and you look, there is so much content. If you're not growing in your personal walk with Christ, that really cannot be my fault. It just can't be. Mm-hmm. I've given you 3 years of not every show we do, not every podcast show we do is 100% full of content, but I guarantee you portions of that show have deep, rich biblical content that you can grow from. Fast forward through the rest and just get to these segments right here. And to me, I've given you content for years that when I'm dead and gone, you still got content you can learn from. Whether it's the worship one we shot, the women in ministry one we shot, they're talking about the Satanic Church that we shot, you name it. There has been no subject we have not been willing to tackle. End times, creationism, Satan, whatever. And so that's part of the responsibility that I feel that we need to shoulder is this content. So if people don't tune in and they'd rather watch the Joe Rogan or the Sean Ryan, that's fine. You'd rather watch, this other pocket, that's fine too. Darius E, I watch those too, that's fine. But you can't say you're not growing because you're not being fed. That's just you just can't say it. Between everything we offer and between how we equip you with our daily readings, we go through 2 books of the Bible every week. Right now we're going through Romans. Do you realize, and I think I counted last week, in 8 more chapters we'll have went through the book of Romans? How many books would that have been for the year just on our Tuesday night Bible study? I think that'd be our 5th book. Well, Proverbs was long. That was 31. But you know what I'm saying? That's already 2 books of the year, plus what you read on your own. So in other words, what I'm saying is, if you're not fed at Adventure Church, I don't know what table you're sitting at. I just think it's mathematically impossible. Now, if you feel like you're not growing theologically, like on the deep end of the pool, like you're trying to learn about pneumatology, eschatology, angelology, all that stuff. Okay, that makes sense because we're not specifically situated to teach you. I can teach you all that. I mean, what do you want to know? You want to know about the 7 covenants? I can teach you about the 7 covenants. You want to know about the 7 churches? I can teach you about the 7 churches. But realize that's not really a podcast subject. We would need more time. I need you to be in front of me. We get the Bible open. We could do that. But as far as daily content for the daily believer, we're all over that. As far as freedom from your past, we're all over that. As far as getting into your word, we are definitely all over that. It is going to be hard pressed for you to tell me at Adventure Church you don't read your Bible. And if you don't read your Bible, who's that really on? Because we even give you a Bible. We'll help you download it and we'll give you one. There would just be no excuse. And so part of the reason why we do this podcast is content. So if you're not listening to the content, really you have to take ownership for what you're doing with your time, because we know you're on your phone. So we just have to call people not out, but call them up. This is your time to chime in and do it and do what you do. So part of being a shepherd is feeding, and part of what I feel is doing is making this content so people can eat. If you think about like what we talked about last week, that Devo segment and that word segment we broke down last week was phenomenal. I went back and listened to it again. And then on the long clip, we've been doing the short clips and the long clips, right? Short clip on the Devos, long clips on when we start breaking down the word. Matter of fact, I'll even put it to you another way. When I started thinking about lead, feed, and protect, I had a hardcore question for myself, and I'll ask you guys this too, okay? Out of the lead, feed, and protect, right? Technically, it's pray, lead, feed, and protect. Just hear me out. The protect was the bonus one. Because I kind of feel like it just is in there as the base foundation. You got to protect your sheep. I had a hardcore gut check with myself this week. I said, if I'm failing in any one of these, like what's my weakest link? It's been prayer. My prayer life has been lacking. It's not what I feel like it should be. It's not what it could be. And that's because I have a certain standard for myself in prayer. Now, other people look at me like, do you pray all the time? No, I don't pray like I need to. I need to step that up. I've been disappointed in myself because I know how I need to pray. I don't need to pray like I'm just an ordinary Christian. I need to pray like I'm the senior pastor of a church, and I need to be standing before my people. Like if anything can need improvement, my prayer life needs improvement. I need to get back to my 5x5 prayer cards. There's stuff I need to do. So I look at this message, I'm like, I got to judge myself first. And I need to pray because that was Moses' number one command is you stand before God on behalf of the people. I need to do a better job of that, especially in hard times like this when people are really struggling. I don't need less prayer. Once again, you don't need less Christianity. You need more Christianity. You don't need less prayer. You need more prayer. By the way, no one's ever OD'd off prayer. No one's ever got drunk off prayer. And I know there's a certain set of charismatics out there. I got drunk in the Holy Ghost. Okay, you're doing too much, but fine, whatever. Rather be drunk off the Holy Ghost instead of, slitch malt liquor or, some old English or something. You know what I mean? Okay. But the point is, I need more prayer. And I had to take a hardcore look at myself. And I think as pastors, we should judge ourselves. If we're talking about our prayer life, we're talking about leading people, we're talking about protecting people or feeding people, which area can use most improvement? I think we should rank them. I think we should rank them and say, okay, what's our plan on getting better on our most efficient one? And then subsequently the one after that, so we can step our game up and we can do a better job shepherding. So that's all I'm saying. So that's how I feel. But if you were to look at those 4, which one do you feel like, Mike, and we'll go to you, Deshaun, like, hey, I could just do a better job. Like I could step my game up on this.
Yeah, I would agree. The prayer. And unfortunately, I feel like I put something in place, and I have not been the greatest at following the game plan in regards to having a deeper, more rich prayer life. So I would say that would be lowest ranked is prayer. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure, prayer. I mean, I think I mentioned it a couple weeks ago. Just once my day gets going, it doesn't stop for such a long time, till late at night. So that's almost every day. I mean, every once in a while I get a day where it's like pretty light, but there's always something when you have kids, it's ministry, there's someone calling you, want to talk on the phone. Just like there's always something, not necessarily bad things, but so prayer takes you need to slow down, you need to stop, and so finding that time. I got to rearrange my schedule, got to figure that out, whether it be how can I pour into people when I'm not spending time with God. So I got to make that more a priority first, because a lot of times, man, I ain't got answers for nobody. Like, people's life would be so complicated. I'm like, man, I don't tell you. It is like, you need to go pray. It's like, it is something I need to do via prayer, because I really do want to see people do well. I really do want to help people. I'm not saying just saying it. It really means like, I don't know. It's like, I want to have the words of wisdom. That's not me, but from the Holy Spirit.
And can I say to our defense, it's not like we don't believe in the power of prayer. I love what you just said. We just get going. Like, we really do. And certain days, and I know you guys more so than me because you got small kids, is you're at the mercy of the next demand, the next emergency. You know what I mean? Like, actually, for you guys with small kids, you can get a phone call anytime now, like one of the kids got hurt. And you're at the mercy of the next demand or the next.
Always on the clock. You wake up and the clock's ticking right away. The countdown's already on. Like, you're like, let's get going.
So let's just do this to the people who watch. It's okay. We are harder on ourselves, and I'm not saying you shouldn't be, but you should also have grace. And that's why I say, for me, my kids are older, and I know what I can actually do. I know how I can actually control my calendar. Within reason. I mean, nobody has complete control like that, because I'm at the mercy of a phone call and emergency too, but you know what I'm saying. And I have to do a better job, and I need to. That's just my responsibility, and I'm going to. That's just all there is to it. I have a preferred future in mind. And in order to get to that preferred future, first off, I take full responsibility and accountability. Second, I do not look at it whimsically like this is an impossible task. I know it is possible. And third, as I set a realistic plan in motion that I'm going to be able to do X, Y, Z, and I can do X, Y, Z, and then I'll just prioritize it that way. But that's what I'm supposed to do, and I'm going to do it. And because I believe in the power of prayer, but I'm definitely going to take full responsibility because I'm 100% in control. And next, I'm gonna have a realistic goal, right? It's not whimsical, it's not that magical. It's just a realistic goal. Even if it's like, hey, I'm gonna get here on these days, and I'm gonna give 30 minutes. I got my little Bluetooth speaker. I like my worship music, and I got my own playlist, and I'm gonna make that happen. That's my course of action, and I'll just tune out everything. And I want to say one other thing to the people, maybe not you guys, but to me, who get a little ADD in prayer, and I feel like 100 things come up in my mind when I'm trying to pray, and it kind of takes my prayer time and prayer life away. I'm gonna say this: I take a piece of paper, or I pull out my notes page on my phone, and everything that comes in my mind, I just start writing down. And sooner or later, those thoughts leave. And I'm able to focus in. And what I do have is I have a 5x5 prayer card of the people who've been asking for prayer, and I start there, praying for those specific prayer needs. And then I feel like from there, I'm able to go to the various places. So I just want to throw that out there for people. I hope that helps. That was my advice for prayer. Let me go. What advice for prayer for people would you give? And then we'll go to you.
I was talking to a friend about this the other day, and he was kind of like, how do I make sure that like my prayer life isn't just mechanical and I'm just checking the box? And I said, you really know the things that are, the things that are getting your goat. The things that like you're really struggling with. You know the things that your kids are struggling with, even if they're not necessarily saying it, like, because you're tuned in. Mm-hmm. And so I would just start with your home. Start with your home. Start with your, if you're married and you have kids, start with your marriage. Pray for your kids individually. What are the things that are really like just vexing you? Go there first. And then depending on how much time you have, whatever you feel like is the next thing. So for you, it might be your, whatever it is that's bogging you down. Cause like, what's stressing you out. Mm-hmm. Or what's hurting your heart. Mm-hmm. A friend of yours gets a diagnosis or something like that. It's like, well, that's more important than me struggling in my job right now.
Right.
And so it's almost like you rank them.
Yeah, you're right.
But writing them down does help.
Okay. No, that's good. That's good. What you got?
Yeah, I always think it's sort of what Michael's saying. If I'm not praying for my family, it's possible no one is.
Wow.
But at least I can know if I'm praying that there's someone praying for my family.
I never thought about like that.
There's someone praying for my kids. There's someone praying for my wife. And then in terms of even being a leader, there's one thing I always used to do is pray for anyone that I was supposed to be leading, because I want to look at them and say, I'm praying for you, and I'm not just using you. It's the easy way to really care about the people you're leading, is actually pray for them. And so I can look them in the eye and say, I'm praying for you. And if something comes up, you let me know. And I pray at this certain time every week, and I pray for you, so you let me know. And that's something I had did for a long time, and that I haven't done in a while, that I need to get back to.
Yeah, and can I go ahead? Yeah.
I'd say I'll add something. I mean, there's this burden I think that most people have who, I would say, like, really love Jesus.
Yeah.
There's something inside of you that burdens you.
Yeah.
Maybe it's homelessness. Maybe like there's like, so you have all these different things, but then there's a burden that oftentimes will be something outside of you. And so, like, for me, I've had a burden for like the last 2.5 years or so for women who haven't been able to get pregnant.
Yeah.
And so I've got a list of 6 families that I pray for 7 days a week. I say, I can look them in the eye and say, I pray for you 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Because that's a burden. And so, like, if whatever your burden is, like, pray for it.
So good. Both those. Great. One little caveat, one little thing. I won't call it a trick, because there's no trick to prayer, but one thing that helps me to be mindful. I would get so mad at and I know you guys know this, but I get so mad at myself when someone says, hey, keep me in prayer. And it's and your intentions are right. Their intentions are, nobody's got bad intentions. But what happens is you hang up, and if you don't pray right then and there, you're probably going to forget. And that's all of us. And there's no condemnation. I get it. I'm the chief sinner of them all. As a matter of fact, I even do that when people are like, hey, can you give me so-and-so's number? If I don't stop right what I'm doing, I'm literally going to the next crisis or the next management thing, and I forget. I have to stop myself and literally say, or even when I'm on the phone, that, hey, I'm getting that for you right now. You should be receiving this text message, because if I don't have the best of intentions, I have the worst to follow through. And so I want to say to you, if a person calls you and asks for prayer, get in the habit of praying right then and there on the phone if you can, at all times. If you can make that happen, make that happen. If not, hang up right away and just say a quick prayer. A quick prayer is better than no prayer. And I would just encourage you to do that, because if not, we get going as humans and we'll make a mistake. And then they're going to call you, man, thank you so much for praying. And you're going to be like, glad it worked out, because you can't say, but I prayed. And you want to be able to tell people, I'm glad that whatever you asked for got answered, because I was praying for you. And we want to be able to say that with a good conscience and a clear heart.
You prayed, man. Yeah. It worked.
And you're sitting there going, well, I didn't pray, but I'm glad somebody else did. That's great. But we want to encourage you that when in doubt, pray it out. And when you can, pray with the person in person, on the phone, but pray right away. Because why? Because prayer changes things. It's been Not a Podcast. Peace. We're out.